What's good, YouTube? Top Decking Darkhole back at you again, and coming back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I recently got out of the game, but I decided to come back. So I figured I'd bring you a quick little deck profile on a cheap deck, and fun to play, easy to get a hold of, and actually pretty good for a structure deck. It's actually one of the best structure decks I've seen in a long time. So this is takes 3 of the Lightsworn structure decks. This does not have any other cards added outside of the structure deck except for one card in particular, which would be my favorite card, being Darkhole. Not a very hard to get a hold of, and it's still pretty good in this deck. You don't absolutely 100% need it because most of the time it gets milled, but and then I added in a couple of extra deck stuff just to give you guys a kind of an idea of what to pick up in addition to this, so that you can have some extra side cards or extra cards that you can get a hold of other than the synchro that comes in the deck. So, and I will also be mentioning some suggestions after the video. So let's get into the deck profile real quick. So 3 JD Dragons. Obviously, it's the most stackiest card in the game right now. 3 Luminas, best card in the deck, best monster in the deck in my opinion, or best Lightsworn, more like. Gets you to your combo pieces really easily, and she allows you to mill pretty easily, and she keeps your hand from getting clogged. So, and then 3 Lilas. The reason why I run 3 Lilas is because I don't main MSTs, because I don't currently have any, and Lila just seems better in my opinion because she can get you your mills. She's a Lightsworn name for JD, so in my opinion she's just all around better. She's also a 17 beater if you need her to be, so she's all around just better than an MST in a Lightsworn build like this. So and then I run 2 Raidens. Raiden is one of the newer Lightsworns. He's a level 4 tuner. Once during your main phase, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. For each Lightsworn sent to the graveyard by his effect, he gains 200 attack. So if you are able to send 2, then he gains a total of 400, and he goes to, I think, 21. Yeah, he goes to 2100 attack points. So he's like a Jane in that aspect, but and you can only use his effect once per turn, so you can't have 2 on the field and use his effect twice in a row. So that's one bad aspect of him, but he's a level 4 tuner. He gets you to your he's a pretty good starting off hand, so he's still really sacky. So and then I run 2 Janes just because it's an extra name, as well as it's a 21 beater when he attacks a monster. So it's really good. I like Jane. I always have. So. And then I currently, right now, am running 2 Wolves. When I get an extra $20, I will probably purchase Felice, the Lightsworn Hunter. She is so much better than Wolf because yes, she has the same effect as Wolf, but you're able to tribute her and destroy a card in the field and mill 3. So, in my opinion, she's a hell of a lot better, as well, on top of being a tuner. So, still, Wolf is still pretty good, 21 beater, and not too cloggy, it seems like, in this deck. So, and then for the 1-for-1s, 1 Garoth, one of the best cards in the deck, gets you your draw power on top of more milling. So, still really good. And Aaron, mainly for a name, but on top of, it's for a lot of, like, decks that have face-down monsters, such as Shadal's. It's got a good match. It helps your matchup against Shadal's really well, because it allows you to shuffle them into the deck so that they don't get their flip effects off, so still really good. And then right now I am testing one Cresselia, the Lightsworn Angel, because I don't really like Raikou, because Raikou, most of the time when they figure out that you're playing Lightsworn and you set a monster, they're going to be like, oh, that's Raikou, so I'm not going to attack it. And they're just going to try to pop it in some other way, like if they're going to Phoenix Wing Blast it or some kind of bullshit like that. So, I'm testing her out. If I don't like her, I might take her out and put in a Raikou, so it's player's choice. And then that's it for the Lightsworns, for the Lightsworn engine of the deck. It's not completely pure, but it's still really good. I run 2 Light Ray Daedalus. Light Ray Daedalus is really good against decks that run field spell cards, because you can pop their field spell card and pop 2 cards on the field. So essentially you're destroying 3 cards for no cost at all. So and it's a good boss monster. It's smaller than Diablos, but and smaller than Judgment Dragon as well, but It's still 26 meter, still really good in my opinion. But I also run 2 Diablos, like I said, a smaller JD, but it also gets the effect of like a wing blast in a sense, because you can banish a light monster from your graveyard, target a card on the a set card on the field, and you reveal it and either put it on the top or the bottom of the deck. It's your go, so it's really good card in the deck, and it's actually more towards the Dragon Ruler version. I might be running 3 in that version. I haven't decided yet. I haven't really played around with it. I'm actually going to go on DN after this video and mess more around with the Dragon Ruler version, and I'll be bringing you that to you guys next. But this is mainly just structure deck, really cheap, easy to build, fun to play. So next card is obviously Honest, because like 90% of these guys are lights, so Honest is like the best card. 1 Blackwing Zephyros. He's really good for some XYZ plays and sometimes some synchro plays, depending on how you get him out there. So I like him, and I always have. And then for the last of the monsters are 3 Necrogardener. Necrogardener saves your Lightsworn so that you can continue getting mills and stuff like that. So it also protects your life points if you don't have any Lightsworns on board right at the time. So onto the spells and onto the spells. You want to run 3 solar charges, best spell card in the deck in my opinion, because get you your draw power, get you your mill on top of that. You can get a wolf out of your hand if you need to, so still really good. And then 2 monster incarnations. This gets back JD, it gets back Illumina if you need it, it gets back a Diablos if you need it, it gets wolf out of your hand. It does so much in this deck, and I really like monster incarnation. So then I run 1 Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is obviously mainly I don't know if it would be called a staple, but it's still really good in the deck. It's going to be always ran. And then 1 Charge of Light Brigade. Obviously, it's your searcher for the deck. I wish this would go to 2, because that way you'd have 2 searchers. I think it's unfair that Rhoda went to 2, and that Tanky is still at 3, so but it's whatever. And then my add-in card is Dark Hole. So if you don't have a Dark Hole and you just picked up the structure decks because you're starting out or something like that, just add in another monster incarnation, or just figure something out on your own that you add in your own little tech to your deck. So and then onto the traps, I run 2 Beckoning Light. I've seen a lot of players run 1 of this just because it can be kind of cloggy. I run 2 because I want to be able to use it if I can, because I'd like milling my deck as fast as I can, getting my JDs in graveyard, Beckoning Lighting them back into my hand, or if I need to go a little bit, it gives me an extra card to like side out. In addition to that, if I do need to side, then I can easily take out 1 of these and not be mad about taking out 1. So gives you that extra side aspect to it. If you think about it that way. I really like Beckoning Light. I always have. 3 is way too much. 2 is perfect in my opinion, but a lot of people have been playing 1, so it's mainly just player preference. And then my last trap cards are Breakthrough Skills. So this card is never dead in this deck, because even if it gets milled, it's still alive. The only issue is that you can only play it on your turn, but sometimes that can actually be really good, because if somebody goes for a first turn Catastor and you're able to mill a Breakthrough Skill, and you're able to get out a monster with say you're able to actually get out a JD or something, you can attack over without having to pay that 1,000 to blow up the field if you don't need to, or something like that. I don't really know. It stops Beelzebub, whatever. I can never pronounce that name correctly. I get made fun of for it all the time. Stops him. I don't know if he's played very much anymore, but it stops a lot of cards that can be a really big issue for this deck. So that's it for the main deck. It's a 40 card deck. It's really cheap. It's like just the main deck is $30. The extra deck cards that come along with the deck, I only run 2 of. 3 is a little bit too much, but Michael is so overpowered. Once per turn, you pay 1,000 life points, target a card on the field, banish that target. When this card is destroyed, select any number of Lightsworn monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and gain 300 for each. During your end phase, mill 3 cards. So it's really, really good. And it's so easy to get out. You get a Lumen in your hand and a Raiden in graveyard, and you got it out. It's so easy to get out. It's so overpowered. I love this card. It's so good. And then that's it for like the structure deck basis of it. Some extra deck cards that you can add in
are Pegasus. If you're looking to keep this cheap, Pegasus is still a pretty good card. It makes them have to pay 1,000 to save their monster if they don't want to save their monster. Either way, you plus. So I like Pegasus. It's pretty good. And then Diamond Direwolf, it's still a really good card. Really cheap now because it came in the 10. So Photon Papal Operative. Another really good card. The only issue is that I'm pretty sure that if you flip up a flip effect monster, it gets off its effect. But I've been seeing a lot of players play a lot of powerful monsters, such as like the Dragon Rulers in defense position. So you can flip them into attack. They lose 600 attack, and you can attack over them. Like Blaster, I know you can attack over. Or no, you wouldn't be able to attack over Blaster. You'd be able to attack over all of them but Blaster. As far as I know, like you can get over Redox if you're playing a Jade. If you're mirror matching or something like that, if they're playing the Dragon Ruler version. So, and then number 50, Black Strip of Corn. Still another really good card. Not very expensive. It's like $1, maybe $2. And then Utopia, in my opinion, has always been a pretty good card. As soon as I get more cards, I'll probably boot this down to 1 and maybe even take it out when I get better cards. And then Gymnite Pearl is pretty good to get over Ophion, because Ophion can be a problem. So cards that I am missing that I would add into this deck and that are not very expensive is Stardust Dragon, Crimson Blader, Colossal Fighter, Scrap Dragon, mainly a lot of level 8s, on top of like Star Eater. Star Eater is actually really easy to get out in this deck, I realized. So I can't think of anything else on the top of my head. If you're looking for more expensive extra deck stuff that you might be able to add in here, 101's still a thing. I know that there's another one that's a cheaper 101, and its effect in some situations can be better. Exciton Knight's also a really good card to put in here. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the deck. It's still really fun to play. I haven't been able to go into any of my locals lately with it, but I have been testing it on DN and DevPro, and I've really enjoyed it. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Top Decking Dark Hole, signing out.